Mm, that is fine. Oh, and we already live. It's funny how YouTube goes live first. Boom. IG's live. What's good, people? Y'all know what time it is. It is 8:0 something 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 Wednesday night, midweek check-in with the quick 30 with your host, the two-time ATL's hottest DJ, the God, DJ Agony, also known as Dr. Dope. Where our motto is simple. On the building. That's obviously somebody that doesn't know what time it is because it's time for the quick 30. And you call him. What are we doing, people? What are we doing? And IG is doing some weird shit right now. Okay. I think IG is all right now. Yeah. It's funny how you're dealing with, different cellular devices or whatever, and one phone call could throw the whole shit off. You know what I'm saying? Big shouts out to everybody that came through to the quick 30 last week. Yeah, I just had some things to really had some things to say about pretty much just like this week. Like this week is gonna be similar to how last week's was. You know, I'm still dealing with the situation with Facebook to where I can only go live from my people right there, IG, and my people right here on YouTube. So Facebook is still not a go, but as I said last week, as I implored you to do, yo, go to YouTube and copy it to Facebook and tag me. It's that simple. Like, it's always a way around it. Like that's actually what I'm doing right now. Yeah, sharing and tagging myself because they not gonna stop this. Like, I'm really not sure why this is even a thing, but nonetheless, yo, there we go. So all my Facebook people, the live is posted right now. So this is what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to go post this live, repost it to your pages, whatever, whatever. Because yeah, there's no stopping this. It's gonna happen. Um, a few things a topic this week that I wanted to get into because this week's been all over the place. It's been a crazy week just for the news feed, just for media in itself, just for Black America. Hell, so one of the things I've always learned growing up is don't talk politics and religion because one of the things you're not gonna do is you're not gonna change anybody's mind. We did just have a runoff this week with Raphael Warnock winning the runoff for the Senate seat against Herschel Walker. Um, Personally, I'm more so indifferent about it. If Herschel Walker won, I wouldn't have been surprised. I wouldn't have been upset. I mean, Donald Trump won. Arnold Schwarzenegger was governor of California. Like at this point, why be surprised, people? It's just it's like watching your favorite TV show. What can go wrong will go wrong. Yeah, that's just like watching politics in America. So I'm not surprised. One of the things that I notice a lot is during election season, people get all huffy and in arms about voting, and when I say people, I'm particularly talking about black people. Talking about black people that I know because I don't really know a lot of white people or how they move and migrate during election season. But this is one of the things that it blows me that know pushing this whole everybody get out and vote, get out and vote, get out and vote. And if you have voted, this won't happen. If you vote, this won't happen. This, that, and the third. Assuming, assuming that we all vote the same. Yeah, that ain't really how this shit work, y'all. I remember when Stacey Abrams lost last month. It was like, oh well, black men didn't get out and vote for her. If black men would have got out and voted, it wasn't a guarantee it was gonna be for her. Even if black people came out in droves and voted this go around, it's not a guarantee that they wouldn't have voted for Herschel Walker. It's not just it's like the mind state is still there and it's gotten old that, if you're black, vote Democrat, that's it. That's because. Nah. I mean, like I said, neither candidate really wowed me. There's a lot of the issue I have with voting. Like, what do I do if I don't like either one of them? Well, you still should just vote. Why? If I don't like either one of them, I'm voting for somebody I don't like. And it's really hard to try to find somebody that threads that line in politics that says, you know what, I can stand on this. So you want me to go out there and vote for lesser of two evils? Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. So a lot of times when I do step out there and I vote on propositions. You know what I'm saying? Something that's, more so gonna directly affect this proposition pass is gonna be this, that, and the third. Those elections I pay very close attention to. My favorite candidate, I don't have one. And I never have. Um, this is one of those things. But and so you give me I've heard the speech before. Oh, people had died, so you had the right to vote. Yeah, and with a right, I also have the right not to as well. That's in having the right. So nonetheless, Herschel Walker did not win. I think Herschel Walker should have won for funniest commercials because that whole vampire werewolf thing, freaking hilarious. Like that was some funny shit. I really wish that commercial would still stay in rotation even after the election season. So I mean, he was like, "Yo, the vampires are cool people." But yeah, I really wish that shit would stay in rotation, man. Like you know, I really want our people to get off this very, very judgmental mind state about how they feel about voting, how they feel that you should feel about voting. My thing is this right here. It is your right, your business. Do what you do with said right. But it gets real sanctimonious when it comes to the socials. You need to do this, you need to do that. And, you know, when has anybody down here been verified to judge what another person does? What they should be doing. Now, damn one of 'em. So I'll move on. I saw something recently, and when I say recently, I'm saying like within the last couple of hours, and I was like, yo, I gotta bring this up because this nigga's crazy. In the famous words of the great Richard Pryor. So I don't even want to say brother. There's a gentleman out there of black descent. Goes by the name of Van Jones. Has anybody heard this shit? Anybody heard? Drop in the chat. Let me know if you heard this or not. For the rest of y'all, just have a sit down and listen. So, according to Van Jones, was at a Wall Street dinner Monday, and in his mind said that he was speaking on behalf of Black America, apologizing to Jewish people for our lack of how you say our lack of checking Kanye on his. The thing is, one thing about Black America, we letting Kanye just get it out of the system. Nobody's promoting it, but nobody's degrading it either. Just do what you got to do over there, get it out your system. That's about it. That's all we got going on with Kanye. But he's apologizing to Jewish people because we're not denouncing Kanye or giving him the stern talking to. My first question is, who is this nigga? Well, it said he's a media personality, a political commentator, and friends with Kim Kardashian. That should be enough right there. Now I got some people checking in the chat. Robin Young in the building. What's happening with you? That boy Jones, who? He in the building. Yo, make sure y'all are here Friday night. The real Jay Scott will be right here in the building for another segment of Nerd Talk with Big Country 50. So y'all do not want to miss that. Also, Corey's Heavenly Cakes, man. If y'all ain't went and bought no cake from that, man, it's about that time of the year. Y'all might want to hurry up because lines fill up fast like Six Flags over there. So y'all might want to holler at my boy. Hurry up and get on Corey's Heavenly Cakes because he baking right now as we speak. He coming up with new shit and everything. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so he said no relation to that dude. Right, right, right. Because truthfully, your name is Scott Jones Scott anyway. So, but yeah, so it's so much to unpack with that. One, who is this dude again? Like seriously, who the fuck are you? I've never heard of you. I don't know you, and talking that shit, I don't need to know you. Yeah. Secondly, he's gonna speak for all black people, huh? Yeah, all right. So needless to say, his apology for black people hit hard like a brick. And since Monday, Twitter's been tearing his ass. Good job, Twitter. Good job, Black Twitter. Black Twitter just has a way of, yeah, Black Twitter can make or break you people. So just be on the lookout for Black Twitter. They're a very dangerous group. But yeah, like I did. The next thing is, why are we apologizing to Jewish people? I've heard stories from firsthand account about Jewish slumlords, and this is going back to 50s, 60s. The slumlords that your house could be ready to fall apart, but the Jewish man still standing out there. Mr. Schwartz and Mr. Rabinowitz is still standing out there with his hand out waiting on rent to come. Um, I've heard about how they move some of the nastiest, unkept grocery stores in the ghetto just to make a buck. People eating it, getting sick, or just not having anything to eat because they don't want to get sick eating that bad shit. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't think of anything I need to apologize to anybody Jewish for. Um, and as far as Kanye goes, I'm not apologizing for Kanye because I didn't tell Kanye to say any of the shit he's saying. That's between Kanye, whatever's going on in his head, and who he answers to at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I don't care enough to care to apologize for Kanye. Kanye doing him, he all right. Whatever he doing, he all right. Um, I just hope that brother finds whatever the piece that he's looking for. Whatever, because you definitely can tell he's looking for something. He's searching, he's trying to he's trying to find something. I just hope he finds it, whatever it is. Because it is, stress will kill you. Stress will take a toll on you, and stress will eventually kill you. So I just hope he finds whatever piece he's looking for before it gets to that point. Because yeah, he's definitely he's going through it right now. Um, so the main event for this week, and I'm pretty sure you all have seen this all over the social since about Sunday, give or take. Um, I know we're not talking about the Cowboys running all over Indianapolis Colts. No, no, no. I mean that happened too, but that ain't what we're talking about. No, no, no. Deion Sanders went on ahead and made that transition from Jackson State over to the University of Colorado. Been a lot of mixed emotions. It's been a real mixed bag, really, between Black America on how this should go. Some people saying that he sold out. Some people saying Deion go get the bag. Um, I'm um I'm leaning more on the fence, on the side of the fence that he sold, and here's why I say that. One thing is we have to go back into who we're talking about. And if you have followed this man's career like I have, if you have followed the sport of football and baseball like I have, we know that Deion Sanders he always transcended every team he played on. Deion Sanders was like the David Ruffin of every team he was on. Mind you, Deion wasn't just the greatest baseball player. He was not the best baseball player on the Braves. But who else showed up to center field in a helicopter, leaving a Falcons game? The man has always been bigger than it's like when he played here in Atlanta, and you got to be old enough and from Atlanta to speak on this. What was it called when he played here in Atlanta? I'll go ahead and tell you. It was the primetime era. Can anybody tell me who the quarterback was when Dion was here? Mm-mm. I think at that point it was still Bobby Abear. I could be wrong though, but I want to say it was Bobby Abear or Chris Miller, Brett Favre. Anybody tell me the coach? Nope. Jerry Glanville, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows these things for sure? We know that Dion was playing cornerback, number 21, prime time. We know that. There we go. See, I knew it was one of them. I said Chris Miller. I knew it was either between him or Bobby Abear and or Brett Favre. Yeah, that happened too, y'all. Yep, Jerry Glanville. There you go. See, this is somebody who's ATL born and bred, who's old enough to remember this time period. But Jones, tell them about primetime era. Primetime was an era here in Atlanta. I mean, you got Mind you, this is the South, and at the time we talking about late '80s, early '90s. People weren't really checking for the South like that, particularly Georgia. They really weren't. But you got Hammer. Hammer that did a remix of Too Legit for the Falcons. Falcons changed their uniform scheme over. They're wearing black now. They built the dome. I remember, if anybody is old enough and from here to remember, when the Braves and the Falcons shared Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. But because the primetime era was so big, they built the Georgia Dome. And if you want to sit here and say that ain't the house that Dion built, well, well, yeah, you ain't old enough from here, or you just really don't know what you're talking about. Yes, sir. I'm talking about primetime had everything, had the video games, had the clubs, like called primetime. Not the one on Covington Highway. There was a club called Primetime in Midtown. That was a real thing. So we know that this man is a megastar. He is I would say the greatest cornerback to play the game, but he is beyond that. He is a megastar. He just happened to play sports, which is cool. Deion Sanders could have went just about. Deion Sanders could have went to a high school and it would have made national news as far as him coaching. So with him choosing Jackson State, not having come from an HBCU, it looked good. It looked good from the surface. It looked good from the outside to say, hey, he's coming down and doing this and putting HBCUs on, because anything he touches, he's going to put it on the map. Now, if you notice too, though, a lot of times when he talked about Jackson State, it was Deion Sanders and Jackson State. Once again, he's the David Ruffin of a situation. That is David Ruffin, just of football and celebrity shit. So, you know what I'm saying? I want to say in 3 years, I want to say it said they went 27-5 in 3 years, which is astounding. I mean, with any school, I don't care if that's a high school, 27 wins, 5 losses is amazing. Anybody do math? Give me that percentage right quick. 27-5. What's his win percentage? If I had to guess, I'd say it's in the 80s, but I don't want to guess right now, and I don't feel like doing the math. But I'm saying though, this is a bomb record. He gets a 5-star recruit. And the problem I have with everything and how it played out is just that how he came in and he sold it. He used terms like leveling the playing field. Now with HBCU sports, you notice watching those versus watching Division 1 Power 5 schools, it's a world of difference as far as talent goes. A big world of difference. So, with that being said, it's like you make a statement about leveling the playing field. May have people thinking like, yo, Jackson State may could keep up with Ole Miss, or may could keep up with any school in the D1 Power 5. Hell nah. Not to say that that's impossible, but it would take years and years on building a program, years and years of building a program, and it could possibly happen. It definitely takes more than 3 years. It definitely takes more than 3 years, and even in that 3 year period, like I said, you got a 5-star recruit, which was good. But did that recruit come to Jackson State, or did he come to play for Dion? Ask yourself that question. Dion beat out Nick Saban, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't believe it was real beef in that. I don't believe it was real beef in that. I just think it was two rich guys that placed a bet on it, like how rich guys do. And Dion won. Anybody seen Trading Places? He probably betted a whole dollar. These dudes worth tens of hundreds of millions of dollars. They bet it a single dollar. It wasn't even about the money. It was just about I'm right and I got them and you didn't. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, so with that being said, I really feel like he sold these people a dream that he could bring this level of prosperity. And then not only did he sell it, he actually showed it. He showed it to him. HBCUs getting TV time. Now, mind you, HBCUs haven't gotten TV time in a long time. I remember, and this goes way back. As a kid, I used to see on BET in the middle of the day, they used to show HBCU football. They would show the bands, they would show the whole thing. Now, at the time it used to come on, I was too young to really understand it. And when I say young, I'm talking about like single digits. We talking late 80s, very early 90s when this used to happen. Um, but we talking about nationally televised games. Now, these games, are they being televised because it's Jackson State? Or they being televised because it's Deion Sanders? Next year will tell that story. Now, I mean, and I've sat there and I tried to watch some. I watched once it was like Prairie View and Fam. It's just not, I mean, that level of play is just not there. But Dion sold it. He used the term level the playing field. He sold it. He got some TV deals. You know, people bring up the fact that oh he donated half his salary back to finish the athletic complex. It's not hard for somebody that's already rich. That's not hard. Dion came with endorsements. Dion has not touched the rock. Anybody in the chat, tell me when Dion retired finally from the Baltimore Ravens. When did he finally retire? Give me that year in the chat. But I know for a fact he has not put his hand on a football in close to 20 years. He hasn't come near football in at least about 20 years, give or take. Um, but Dion still got endorsements. So they're talking about how the new uniforms and this, that, and third. Dion got an endorsement with Under Armour. It's just like going to your job and asking them to sponsor your extracurricular. Of course they're gonna do it. They're talking about oh, what Dion gave half his salary away. Well, shit. How much is the all? I mean, what? Not all state. State. What is it? State Farm that he has the insurance commercials with? No, it's Aflac. Aflac. How much is Aflac paying him? Subway, Under Armour, and then all the other money he already had. Rich people can give away $150,000. And notice the term I use: donate. Donate 150,000, which you know what that means. Come the end of the year, tax write off. Dion's very smart. He's very calculated. He did this very, very meticulously. He just didn't anticipate it. Boom! I said almost 2005. That was the whole Baltimore Ravens number 38 fiasco. Um, it happened. So I don't think he anticipated it happening as fast as it did. But the ultimate goal was to go to a D1 Power 5 as a head coach. Notice most coaches come up through the ranks. Most coaches start off as trainers, coordinators, assistant coaches, and this process that Dion just expedited in 3 years. Most coaches, it takes them anywhere from 6 to 10 to get that far. He just found a different route. And remember, travel the path of least resistance. Not necessarily mad at that. It's just my thing was the transparency that you claim to have, that you were saying that I'm doing this. You know, he sold it as if he's doing this for the culture. I went to Jackson State for the culture. You went to be a really big fish in a very small pond, to where it was time enough to where when you got to be a fish that was ready for the big pond and they were ready for you could make that jump easily. He went to go be a big fish in a small pond, and he sold him a dream. And then the part that's going to happen now, they're talking about how now that the transport portal is, the transport, um, transfer is what I'm trying to say. Transfer portal is open. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of names are flying through that thing. A lot of them trying to get out of Jackson State too. A lot of them committed, thinking that Dion was going to be there, and he's not. So when they may have passed up something else, something possibly better, thinking that Dion's going to be there, he's gone. And also, he's taking the 5-star recruit. What's his name? Hunter. He's taking him with him. He's taking his son with him. Say he's bringing it's easy. He's bringing his own luggage, which means now that you've left the program, you're taking from it. You're poaching it. The program that you said that you were going to help build and to keep this going. And I heard a take from Shannon Sharp was like, Dion left the blueprint. Yo, get the fuck out of here with that, Shannon Sharp. My thing is this right here. Who can Dion like Dion? Nobody. What he built down there, nobody could have done that. And that time with that level of charisma, there is no other football player living who was that charismatic, who was that influential, who superseded the sport like a Deion Sanders. Oh, and they happen to be black too. Mind you, gotta throw that in there. Who is black, who supersedes the sport, who is that influential, who is that charismatic? There is nobody but him. He sits in a league of his own when it comes to that. And he knows it. And it's more like, oh, well, I did what I could at Jackson State and they'll be just fine without me. They're gonna go back to normal. They're gonna go back to how they were 3 years ago. And the whole unless I say unless someone else comes in and fills that blank, but who is there? Maybe the only other black player that I could think about that people would come out in droves to play for, Michael Vick, and we haven't heard anything about him being interested in coaching. So, yep, slim chance on that one. Marshawn Lynch, he doesn't have any HBCU ties, and I've heard nothing about him having an interest in coaching. So yes, you can sit here and say that, but everybody knows, including Dion himself, no one is as charismatic as him. No one has the kind of influence as him. No one has the money as him, and have all these things put together to fill that spot. And I really think that it's gonna go back to how it was. I give it maybe another 2 years, and HBCU football would be back to not being mentioned at all. Jace, you know what? Hey, Big Country said Jay Scott can feel it. While you are not wrong, I haven't heard his interest in coaching yet. Yo, the real Jay Scott, if you're interested in coaching, Jackson State got a job open for you. Go feel it. I got Big Country 50 in the building. He gonna be the other part of the triumvirate this Friday night on the Dope Show. We having more nerd talk. Just about to get into some things, all nerd related, all gaming related, probably some comic book shit too. Who the hell knows? Friday ain't even happened yet. But my last point, and I'm gonna go ahead and call it for the 30, is that what it reminds me of. It reminds me of how immigration happened and the effects of immigration. A lot of people are right now saying that, oh man, Dion getting to the check, he getting to the bag. Da, da, da. $5 million. Dion made more than $5 million playing. Dion probably makes more than $5 million before he even started coaching, just from the endorsements of him not playing. Like that Affleck check's probably $5 million. So it's not about the money. Dion wanted to coach. He wanted to coach Power Five, and he did not want to be an assistant coach. But what it reminds me of most of the people that's out there like, yo, Dion getting to the bag. I'm proud of him, this, that, and the third. It just shows how easy a nigga can be led with a fucking check. You throw a check at a nigga, he going to go abandon the whole mission. Even though he claimed out and claimed he's doing it for the culture. They threw a check at the nigga and he left. It's that simple. We look at we look at the immigration of baseball. And not only with Jackie Robinson, when there was a surge of black talent being pulled from the Negro leagues into the Major League Baseball, the Negro leagues died. You poached all the talent, but you didn't give anybody any position of power or anybody in a position of management, coaching, none of that. You just went, took the talent, and left what was rest. Same thing with what happened with football back in the days of the HBCUs, to where HBCUs gave us Hall of Famers. But once they were able to go Power Five, oh, they went. They went. And all they got to do is just throw money at it. If you're trying to really build something for the people, there shouldn't be a dollar amount that you would sell for. But Dion's always had a price. This is nothing new. This is not new news. If you have followed this man's career from 87 to now, he's always had a price. So I'm not surprised at it. I'm not surprised that any of this happened. I'm more surprised at the people who are surprised at it. That's where I stand on that. I got my nephew Spud King in the building. What's good with you, boy? He said, "Are we rooting for Dion or not?" Really, that's a personal choice. I'm just telling where I am with it. I'm not surprised about the move at all. A check will tell you who's for it and who's not all the way for it and or you. If you get what I'm saying on that, just throw some money at it. This is where we get the term "sell out." It's funny enough to me how when we have something of ours, we're so quick to sell it. I brought this up a few times, but I'm not gonna let it go. During the pandemic, when we were, confined to our houses, we're in the world was in a state of just total unknowingness. Like we had no clue what was coming next. And to pass the time for entertainment, Swiss Beats and Timbaland got on there and playing beats and songs that each other had made and created this thing that we knew as verses. And verses blew up to levels that we didn't think we would see verses blow up to. And they sold it. Not only did they sell it, they sold it to an Asian guy that owns Triller. And since then, I haven't seen the verses in quite a while. Actually, I've been getting the notifications. So apparently, this was around the time of the year that 3 6 Mafia had the verses with Bone, and the whole fight thing broke out. But yeah, verses was an hour thing. Sold it out for money though. Um, we could never progress as a whole if and when the first time a check comes around, we go running toward it. We'll never progress as a whole. Um, and I say that with all honesty. I get it. 5 million dollars a year is better than 300,000 a year. But you sold the dream to these people that are this HBCU, and as soon as the first check came around, you left them, and you left the dream. And what we gonna use the whole thing that, oh well, I showed y'all how to do it, taught y'all how to fish, and now you can fish forever. Yeah, but you took all the reels. You took the reels, took the fish, probably gonna take the water too. But anyway, people, that is the quick 30 for the night, man. Yo, appreciate everybody for coming through, stopping in the chat. Real J Scott, Robin Young, Big Country 50, my nephew Spud King in the building. Make sure y'all tune in this Friday for another dose of Nerd Talk with me, DJ Agony, Big Country 50, and the Real J Scott. Also, plenty more going on with Dope. And make sure everybody that's in here go to Facebook right now. Copy this link, go to Facebook and post it because they can't keep me off. They gonna have to totally cancel me to keep me off because I got dope people that's gonna take this link and go share it right now. Because that's what we do. Each one take care of each other, y'all. Yo, that's my time for the night, man. Remember, imitation is a sincere form of flattery that mediocrity can't pay to greatness. I am DJ Agony. I am dope. My motto is on the building, and I'm out. Peace.